Is Bitcoin going to 20k in a massive liquidation event in the next coming weeks, this month? Guys, that's going to be the topic of today's video. I think I actually found something I want you guys to prepare for a massive liquidation event that potentially could happen to the Bitcoin price. I'm just going to give some reasoning for that in today's video, but I'm also going to say why it's actually quite bullish for Bitcoin, what makes me think like this, because of course for a lot of you this will sound ridiculous, a capitulation event in 2 weeks. But I'm just going to open my heart, share my thoughts. You can get a look into my perspective, which is, I can tell you already right now, very different than the average investor. And you can make your own opinion, but I'm very curious what your opinion is going to be. So make sure if you want to share that, do that in the comment section down below. I'm going to share a book, guys, because this is also about financial astrology. This is about how the planets are behaving and what it basically says about the Bitcoin price. And what I do is I combine cycles, planetary cycles as well, with the price structure, with different charts. I make one big cocktail out of this, and I'll just make up my mind through that. So also, don't take what I'm going to say today as a certainty, right? Always do your own research. But I think it is very interesting to talk about this, okay? So first of all, guys, I want to talk about the Shemitah cycle. Shemitah year, that's a 7-year cycle. I've talked about this many times in the past. And guys, what this cycle basically says is that from September 2021, so that's roughly right here, from September till September 2022, that is roughly right here. This was a Shemitah year, and what we normally see, guys, in the stock market, the Shemitah year is almost always a bearish year. And I've made separate videos about it if you want to dive into this cycle, but we're not going to do that in today's video. But just assume for now that every Shemitah year is a bearish year. Last year it also has been bearish. From September 21 to September 22, the trend clearly has been down, right? It was not accurate on the month, so these cycles are also often not accurate on the month, but it was very accurate in the sense of when the bear market was. And one thing I want to quote from this book, guys, and first of all, about the Shemitah cycle, that is this one. You may plant your land for 6 years and gather its crops, but during the 7th year, you must leave it alone and withdraw from it. That is written in the book of Exodus, chapter 23, verses 10 to 11, which actually just tells us that 6 years you can make money, you can use the land, everything, the stock market will go up, but the 7th year you will withdraw and the stock market will see a correction. And if ye shall say, what shall we eat the 7th year? Behold, we may not sow, nor gather in or increase. Then I will command my blessing upon you in the 6th year, and it shall bring forth produce for the 3 years. And ye shall sow the 8th year, and eat of the produce, the old store, until the 9th year, until her produce come in, and ye shall eat the old store. So what it says is that before a Shemitah year, you get a expansion in the economy, right? That's what this text basically says. But then in terms of growing crops, in terms of agriculture, but this was damn right, guys. Look, we got a massive expansion, and this is even divided by the inflation, by the money supply, as you can see right here in the chart. But we got a massive expansions before that year. So this is a very important thing to note. Before you actually have a Shemitah year, you get that expansion. So with that expansion, you can take profits. And it sounds like the Wall Street guy, right? Fugazo. But it is so freaking accurate, guys, that I definitely have a weak spot for this stuff. So what they also say is that 1 year after the Shemitah cycle, that's the year that you basically gotta plant your seeds, but we not really get that expansion yet. So it says, plan to re-enter the markets in September 2023. Well, right now it is September, guys. So based on this cycle, you should enter the markets in September 2023. And what I'm thinking right here, that's why I'm trying to connect these dots like with this cycle. It's just very interesting. September most of the time is a very bearish month, and this is not only September that makes it bearish, but other charts, the stablecoin dominance makes it bearish too. And I found some crazy stuff there, so bear with me, guys. But what we can see right here is that it looks like Bitcoin finished the move right here, and it's just like kind of like slowing down in this momentum in the shorter term time frame, right? If we check below us, we still have a CME gap at $20,000, which if we look at this market structure is quite likely to be the next gap to be filled. I mean, we lost key moving averages. We are in the most bearish month in the month of September. We got a gap below us at $20,000, and all the stablecoin dominance, they screaming they want to go higher. So we got basically a lot of signs showing that Bitcoin is not looking all too bullish in the shorter term time frame. But that makes me think, like, if we do go that low in September, is that maybe a capitulation event back to the lows right here? So that could be at roughly 20,000, because that gap is right here, roughly at 20,000. Something similar, but in a quicker pace that would still fit the 16-year cycle, like we've seen right here. We get that expansion, we go back to that support. Here we get that expansion, we might go back to that support. And that expansion hasn't been that big, as you can see right here. This is also due to inflation, because this one is based on the money supply, right? So I thought this is quite interesting. Then I want to bring you guys to the following charts. And these are the stablecoin dominance chart, and I already shared this a lot with you on the channel, but I just want to share it a little bit more. Why I actually quite convinced for more downside to come in the shorter term time frame, which doesn't need to last long. And I'm also going to explain that. That's why September may be a big capitulation event. This is the US dollar Tether dominance, and as you can see, we are on an uptrend, and we're right now getting rejected from the middle of the channel, but in a positive or actually bullish structure, a ascending triangle. Right, I would expect this. This has definitely a 70% chance of breaking out to the upside. Why? Because it is already a bullish pattern, and we've entered this pattern from an uptrend. So that makes the chances right here roughly 70% that this is going to break out to the upside. Okay, that is only the US dollar Tether chart, right? Let's have a look at the USDC chart then. This is the weekly time frame of the USDC chart, and right now we are getting some big green candles going at the middle of this resistance level right here. If we break above that resistance, I can definitely see this going into like something like this with a big green candle going up towards the resistance right here, which would align with the weekly RSI as well as the in the chart we're making lower lows, relative strength index is making higher lows and breaking above resistance. Very interesting, right? Because the US dollar Tether dominance and USDC dominance basically tell the same story. More downside for Bitcoin. Then we got this chart, and this made me really mind-blowing because I actually shared this chart with you on the previous videos. This is both of these stable coins combined into one chart. And what we can see is that we have this falling wedge formation with the yellow line right here, yellow line right there. We also have kind of a W formation with a double bottom right here, breaking already above the falling wedge formation resistance. Right now knocking on the door of that W formation. And the target of that W formation, guys, is exactly the resistance from this declining channel. So the target of this W formation is at the resistance from this declining channel. And now my hopes are getting up, guys. My hopes are getting up, because what I really would love to see right here, or what this chart actually potentially could do, is that we do see a breakout next week or the week after. We get a massive green candle, which will go along with a massive liquidation event in Bitcoin. And then we touch that resistance, and then we're gonna come down and we're gonna get a fight between the support and the resistance right here. And then I hope that we lose that support and Bitcoin enters that bull market which would completely be following that Shemitah year as to invest in September 2023. So guys, I'm actually quite bullish on Bitcoin after putting all these structures together, but not yet. I think patience, we have to wait a little bit because these charts are not yet telling us that we are that bullish. Then there are a couple of dates that are highlighted right here on the chart, which we have to watch. These dates are very important in terms of bigger reversals that we could see on the Bitcoin price. So guys, if you are not subscribed to this channel, make sure to do so right now. Hit the bell icon so you get notified whenever we upload videos on these dates talking about these reversals. But if I try to connect all these dots, and I hope you guys can follow me on this one, is that it looks like Bitcoin is losing momentum, stablecoin screaming for breaking out to the upside, but it doesn't have to last that long, right? So September, massive capitulation event, we might get a new crisis happening right in front of our eyes, the money printer goes back up, and Bitcoin just enters a new bull market starting from September, maybe October this year. So I would definitely be a little bit more bullish depending on what September does towards the end of the year, but so far, guys, I think this story would really make a lot of sense. It is a wild story. I get that. I mean, we just had this gap, fill that gap up, then come down, fill that gap down. But it is Bitcoin. It is Bitcoin, guys, and it's just in the shorter term time frame not looking all too bullish. We did it also in 2019. We had a rally, we came back down to the support. It's possible right now as well. If we do have a look at how much of a correction that would be for Bitcoin, that would be from the highs till the support. A correction of 35-36%, which is typical bull market corrections, right? To be really speculative right now, guys, and this is maybe even the next level, that capitulation event might come along with a big, huge crash in this chart. I'm already screaming about this chart for quite a while right now on the channel, but I really, in my opinion, guys, this is a ticking time bomb. Ticking time bomb. I think so. So I wouldn't touch that one. So that is what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to wait patiently. If, for example, the month of September is completely boring and we just move sideways into October and we get maybe a nice rounding formation right here, I might change my opinion. But for now, I think September will be bearish, as it is the most bearish month on Bitcoin. It's not only that, I think, because of the month, but just because of the structure also in these stable coins. It just screams this wants to go higher. Right, and that doesn't mean that there's a little bit room right now for Bitcoin to pump. I mean, we can go to this support and Bitcoin can pump a little bit before we dump again. And we can see right here as well, we can get a small pullback from this middle of the channel. But if we look, for example, at this one, look at this. This is a falling wedge formation. We have a clear breakout, another green weekly candle close above that resistance. We get a retest of that level. Quickly we're going back up and it forms a green candle again. So this just looks insanely bullish, which is very bearish for Bitcoin. But like I said, guys, it doesn't have to be bearish the whole year. It doesn't mean Bitcoin has to go to 10K, 12K, whatever. But it might mean that in the coming 2 weeks, we are going to see a massive capitulation event. Bitcoin going to $20,000. You heard it here first. Guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If you want to receive extra information on the markets, make sure to join the WhaleAlerts Telegram channel. You can join for free just by signing up on one of these exchanges down below. I would suggest to do Bybit or BitGet. Made a lot of tutorials on that. But yeah, more information down below, guys. And I want to thank you all for watching. Wish you all a beautiful day and hope to see every single one of you in the next video.